Hey everyone, this is Andrew here at Tower, and I'm going to show you how to change a flat tire on your Priority Current e-bike. So if we look here on the front, we have a thread-on through axle that makes taking this on and off really easy. But then if we come over here to the rear with this belt drive, it's a little more difficult to pop the rear on and off. Basically what you had to do is you would have to loosen these bolts here. There's two on either side. You would have to loosen those along with the bottom axle nuts. That would allow this whole unit to slide forward a little bit. You would more than likely have to pull this cable out as well. And then the whole rear wheel will slot off. You can undo that band and then get to the tire. But for now, we're gonna hop here over to the front and show how to do it on here. So your Priority Current e-bike will come right out of the box with these WTB wheels and tires. And the tires on here are the WTB Horizons, which are a 650B by 47 size. It's a little bit of a unique size. 650s are really popular in the gravel world and in the triathlon world as well. So seeing it on a more commuting style bike is unique. These particular 650s on these Horizons, you can see they have a nice slicker tread with a little bit of siping here for water, which makes these particular tires fantastic for riding around in the city. However, finding some slick 650s similar to these can be a little difficult just because, again, most 650s, or a lot of them, especially ones at this width, are more commonly on gravel and off-road style riding. So if we come down here to the bottom of the fork, we're just gonna undo this flange on the left side, and then we're just gonna unscrew it, and that's all we do. So we just thread it out. And because this is a through axle, the whole thing, once it's unscrewed, will just slide right out, and the whole wheel will fall. So now we're at the end of the threading, so now I'm just gonna give it a tug, and we can see the whole unit sliding right out. There it is, and then the whole wheel just comes right off like that. Nice and easy and straightforward. Whenever I take the front or rear wheel off, I personally always remember to put a brake chip in there because I'm a little fidgety, so I tend to grab these brake levers a lot. And if there's nothing in between those calipers and you squeeze it, could be a bad time. So I always make it a habit. If you ever pull one of the wheels off, just slot one of these nice brake chips right in there just to make sure nothing happens. All right, so we got the WTB 650B tire and wheel here. So as you can see, it's pretty flat. We'll just say, most likely you'd be getting a flat because of a puncture, something like a thorn, a goat head, nail, something like that. That's gonna be the most likely cause of a flat on your bicycle. So we're gonna take our tire lever here, and we're gonna pull this bead back. Then we're just gonna tuck this tire lever underneath. Be a little tough. These are stiff tires, and then we'll get it out and just give it a good tug all the way around to pull that bead. Oh, like I said, these are pretty stiff tires. And there you go. At a certain point, it just gives, and then it's nice and easy all the way around. All right, and there we go. We got that bead all popped off. Taken care of. So now we're going to take this tube out. We're just going to pretend that this is an old bad tube, that this one's no good anymore. So we're going to take it out, and then this is what you're left with, a nice loose tire and rim. If this was a flat, you'd then of course want to drag like a nice cloth or something right inside here to check for any thorns, because any spots that there's a thorn poking through, that cloth is going to get snagged and you'll know exactly where a thorn is. Last thing you want to do is put a new tube in here, but not take the thorn out and get a flat on your very first ride. Let's just assume we pulled out all the thorns. This tire is good to go. Gonna have a little air in our new tube. And once we got a little air in there just for shape, we're gonna go back here and we're gonna get this valve in first off. Once that valve's in, then we're gonna tuck this tube all the way around inside the tire. And then once the tube is tucked in all the way around the tire, we're gonna start here right next to the valve. We're just going to pull that bead back, wait till it snaps down into place. Again, with these 650s, it's a tight fit, it can be a little stiff. So there we go, see how we got it all along there. And now we're just going to go continue around and get that other side tucked in. And usually the most difficult part of your flat repair is going to be the opposite end of where you started. As you can see, we're starting to approach there. But luckily, the tire's sliding on pretty well. This is the spot you want to be careful of potentially pinching your tube. Right now, I know we've tucked it in there and there's not a lot of loose tube. So we're just gonna slip that in. You can see it's almost there, and boom. So there we are. The tire has been reinstalled, so now we just need to go air it up. These particular tires have a max pressure of 45 to 65, which you can see right there stamped onto the sidewall. So again, this bike comes right out of the box with Schrader tubes, which is a little different usually when it comes to these skinnier tires, but it definitely makes it easier to use any sort of pump, you know. Your local gas station pump would more than likely be able to do these Schrader valves for you, because it's the same thing on your car. Now we have that WTB wheel and tire all inflated back up. And then we want to make sure that this line is even all the way around. Want to make sure that this tire is seated properly and rolling exactly as it should. It's looking nice and perfect. Let me flip it over, look to the other side. See, it's looking good all the way around. So this wheel is all good to go. So then we're going to go back here and we're going to take that through axle. Remember, we're going to take that brake chip out. Put it back in. You got to take it out before we put it back in. All right, so we're just going to take the wheel, get it right inside the dropouts on the bottom of the fork. Then we're going to slide that through axle in until we hit the other side. And then we just start threading it in. And with these through axles, we just keep threading it in until it stops. You can see right there we're at sort of the stopping point. So we're just going to get this flange closed. There we go. All attached back on there. And that is how you change a flat tire on your Priority Current e-bike. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining us.